To the US now, and hear from Darnell Self.
Hey, Mastermind family, what's going on? I hope everyone is well and healthy. Thank you all again for having me. Thank you, Mr. R. Jonak, for putting together such an amazing environment for us to learn and grow and get better. I want to share with you all today something that a lot of folks would deem as difficult, and that's leadership. You know, people are like, well, how do I lead? You know, how do I lead myself? How do I lead others? Where do I start? And the reason why I think this is an important topic is because when we're building a team of people, it's important to be able to lead that team. You know, otherwise we end up with a team of 5 and it goes back to 1, a team of 2 and then it goes back to none, a team of 20 and then it goes back to 5. And we're like, man, what am I doing wrong? And sometimes nothing, right? There are some people just not decided to fully commit in the business they said they wanted to build. And then there's others who do want to be led. And sometimes it's on us because we don't know how to lead. So I thought I'd share a little bit about that today. But you should know that me, Darnell Self, I had to learn these same skills, right? I'm still learning these same skills. What does that say? It says that anybody can lead if they choose to. There's skills that can be learned. There are people who you can learn from. And that's what you all have done today. You've made a decision to invest in yourself, a decision to get better, a decision to increase your skill set so that you can become more and then attract more. That's why I'm excited for you all. See, when I started my business, I was 25 years old when I started in this industry. And finally, I figured it out. Right? What do I mean by that? Well, I was so undecided growing up in life. Right? People normally ask kids, hey, what do you want to do when you grow up? And people say, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a fireman. You know, I want to be an athlete, you know, whatever that kid wants to be. And my answer was always, I don't know. I felt bad, right? I know my parents were probably embarrassed. So I was like, I don't know. I didn't know. I never knew. Even at the university, I didn't know. And so I was always undecided. That's why it took me so long to get my bachelor's degree, because I changed my major a zillion times. And so finally, at 24 years old, I met an entrepreneur. And I love the autonomy he had. I love the power he had in terms of decision-making power. You know what? I'm not going to do this today. I'm going to do this today. I'm going to do a lot of it today. I'm going to do a little bit of it today. He lived life on his terms. And he wasn't in our industry, but yet he was an entrepreneur. And I thought, that's it. So for the first time at 24 years old, I was bitten by the entrepreneurial bug. And I started taking classes, right? I started going to seminars. And I started listening to audio systems, right? Back then it was called cassettes. But now you have podcasts, YouTube. So I started to learn. And so I thought I'd share some of the learnings, right, from 25 years old and 51 years old now. And so the wonderful thing about learning from those who've gone before you is it doesn't have to take you 25 years to learn those same skills and philosophies, because you can learn from someone who's 50 years old and you could be 22 years old, and all of a sudden in 30 minutes, you gain wisdom that normally would take someone years to gain because they had to kind of go through it themselves. You don't have to. I don't have to now. I can learn from others and avoid some of those pitfalls. So today we're going to talk about leadership and really getting folks launched right? Getting a new person launched right. So first you should know there's several levels of leadership. I won't talk about all of them today, but I think the first 2 are critical when really starting to lead yourself and others. The John C. Maxwell 5 levels of leadership is what I'm talking about, but I'll talk about 2 levels. You can always go and research all 5 and study them, and I would advise you to do so, right? John C. Maxwell, the 5 levels of leadership. But the first level talks about positional leadership, and that's when you lead by your position. People follow you because they have to, right? This is when people give their title. Well, listen, because I'm a titanium level such and such, you should listen to me. You know, people do this at jobs often, right? They say, because I'm the supervisor, you should listen, and they use their title. So people really follow because they have to, right? Because it's the boss. They get paid to follow them. They don't follow them because they want to. They follow them because they have to. This doesn't make that person a great leader, by the way. It just means they have a title, because we all know people that have a high title but they're not great leaders. And we know people that don't really have a title, and they're awesome leaders. And so leadership is a process. It should really be a verb, right? It's a process. It's not a one-time thing. And so we grow in it. And so let's talk about that, because the second level of leadership is gone from positional now to permission, from positional to permission. And permission, people follow you because they want to. It's fully based on relationship. See, the permission level is fully based on relationship. So as you build this relationship, people follow you because they want to. And people can say the same thing. Check this out. They can say the same thing at a level 2 relationship or level 2 leadership place that they couldn't say when they were at the level 1 leadership place or spot. Right? For an example, I'll never forget my mom first started dating her boyfriend, who's now her husband. And he told me, hey, get your fingers out your plate because, I was raised in a rural area, in the country, and, people, I should say my parents were. And so I was taught that, hey, put your thumb in your plate. And it'll help to put your food up on your fork and you eat it. My stepdad didn't grow up like that, right? You had to have a knife in your hand and a fork in your hand at the exact same time. You use your fork to push the food up, use your knife to push the food up on your fork. And so I never forget he yelled at me, right? He's like, get your finger out of the plate. I was so upset. Now watch this. I did it because I felt like I had to. It's my mom's boyfriend. Level 1 leadership. He had a title, boyfriend. I did it because I felt like I had to, not because I wanted to. If my dad would have told me the same thing, he's at level 2 with me, permission level, because he had the relationship for years. I would have said, oh, okay, Dad. And I would have been so happy that my dad was teaching me something that would make me better. So watch this. A lot of folks in our business are talking to people as if they're at level 2, but they're only at level 1. Including me. When I first meet someone and say, hey, this is Darnell Self. He's a platinum. He's a whatever title. They edify you. I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. That's not my time where I'm like, look, this is what you need to do. Because I don't have permission yet. They only follow me because someone told them my title. But I have to be careful what I say and how I say it. Because I'm only a title yet. I haven't built up to the permission level. And by the way, you never leave a level. You build upon a level. You see, it's not like stairs where you leave one level and go to the next level. You must know where you are at all times with people. And so just because I'm at level 2 with one representative, distributor, associate, doesn't mean I'm at level 2 with all distributors and associates. And so I have to be careful. Sometimes we offend people, don't even mean to, because we're at level 1, not level 2. Right? At some point, you go into the production level and people follow you because they're like, man, look how many people you've helped. Can you teach me too? But you didn't leave permission. You have to still go back and say, so how was Johnny's soccer game or football game? Right? So you still have to go back and stay in permission. We make mistakes because we leave permission. We go into productive, and all of a sudden, we don't even know them anymore. And they realize we're only calling them because we want them to produce. We're only calling them because we want them to do a certain amount of business. So we don't leave a level. We stay in the level, but we build upon the level. This is how we get people going, and this is how we keep people going. By building relationships, keeping relationships. I know it sounds crazy, like, hold on, this is it? Yes. So when you get someone started, the first thing you want to do, of course, is make sure that they understand that belief is important. Now, belief in what? Well, belief in the products or services that you're marketing, because no one's ever going to last if they don't believe in the products and services that you're marketing. They're just here because there's some money to be made. And my gosh, they got to feel like, man, I'm adding value to the people I care about most. I'm adding value to my family and friends and neighbors and people I haven't met yet. Who wouldn't want this product? Who wouldn't want these services? If you don't feel like that, that's the first challenge. And so we have to ask folks, hey, you got to use the products, you got to use the services, you got to believe in them. It's key to any new person. Otherwise, someone will talk them out of it. Oh, no one needs that. Oh, please tell me you didn't buy that. And like, you don't think I should have? Why? The belief is not there. So we've got to use the services. I'm telling you, I'm talking about onboarding new associates. We're thinking, hey, we got to get a check in their hand. Yes, we do. Yes, they should have a testimony under their belt. They should have a story, an income story. But just as importantly, they got to believe in what they're doing, because I'm telling you, here's what happens, Mastermind family. Folks will get a check. They know it's real. They've got a deposit in their account. and still not stick around. You're like, they got paid. Yes, but they lacked belief. And the payment alone was not enough. So get them involved in the mission of why you're doing what you're doing, why you're marketing the services or products that you're marketing. And then find out how their why can connect to it. You ever ask someone their why, they say, like I asked a gentleman, hey, what's your why? He said, I want to make $10,000 a month. And I said, that's awesome. You mind if I ask you an additional question? It's in front of other people, so I was careful. I asked permission. He says, yes, sir. Because at the time, I only had positional leadership with him. I didn't really know him. I said, do you mind? Do I have permission to dig a little deeper? He said, sure. I said, why do you want to earn $10,000 a month? And he thought for a second. He said, because I want a bigger house. I said, and why do you want a bigger house? He's like, my kids share a room, and I know they want their own room. I said, how do you know that? And again, please forgive me if you feel like I'm intruding or digging a little too deep, just stop me. He said, no, it's okay. He said, because I have two boys and one girl. My two sons are older, and my daughter's getting older, and now she's uncomfortable sharing a room with her brothers. I said, how do you know this? He said, she's telling me. I said, when did she tell you? He said, when I kiss her on her forehead goodnight, and she's laying in a bed, and she looks at me, and I said, what'd she say? And he said, she says, Daddy, when am I going to get my own room? And I said, and how do you respond? He said, I turn around because I don't know how to respond, because with my current job, I don't know when I'll get her own room. I said, how often does she say this? He says, every night. And I said, and you feel that way every night? He says, every night. I feel like I'm failing her as her dad. I said, that, my friend, is your why. It is not the $10,000 a month. It's not just for a bigger house. The next time you think about not making the call, right, not inviting someone to check out your presentation, not offering someone to check out your services or your products, I want you to say, this one's for my baby girl's new room. It's different. You feel differently about that than $10,000 a month. And he's getting emotional, right? He says, you're right. By the way, he went 3 levels, 3 ranks in the next 30 days, all because he had a different why. And it connected to the why of the company. See? You find a why for the company. Look, what's the mission? What's the cause of the company? Right? To create health, to create equal access to something, right? And so you find that, and then you connect it to their why, because it should connect, and it will. Because the more they add value with their services and products, the closer they get to the why that they've had to join. You must make the connection, and you'll find more people stick around. If not, you can simply say, hey, if they say, well, this doesn't feel like it's working for me, listen, have you found something else that will assist you with getting closer to your why? Or you may even ask, hey, listen, so let me ask you, we call it an IQ level, and that's not a ranking of intelligence here, but your I quit level. What would stop you in this business? What would prevent you from getting your baby girls in your room? Or whatever it was. I mean, I don't know. I can't think of anything right now. Do you mind if you give me permission in the tough times to bring that back up? Sure. It gives you an opportunity to say, hey, listen, remember you said that there was nothing at the time that would stop you from getting your baby girl's new room. Has that changed? See? So you gotta connect that, guys, as leaders. This is how you lead. You lead based on how they want you to lead them, not based on what you feel we should lead them with. I don't know. But you tell me, and now I know, right? Otherwise, I'm prescribing a medication that I think best fits your illness. But I don't know unless you tell me what your ache is. What's your pain point? Why are you building this business? All right. Also, when we're leading people, we're talking about leading. When we're leading people, and I keep saying it myself, so maybe you already caught it. When we're leading people, we're using we and us, right? It's an us thing. We're building a team. Leadership is an us thing. I'm on the front line with you. I'm getting the nose with you. I'm getting the bullets with you. We're out. I'm not saying you go. So when I'm coaching a new person or a team of people, I'm like, all right, here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to close out 2020. Here's how we're going to launch 2021. Here's how we're going to take on the first quarter. I'm going to say, no, here's what you need to do to take advantage of your first quarter. Now, here's what at that point, it's bossy. And no one joined us to have a boss. They joined us because they wanted to be led. They wanted to be a part of a community. They wanted to lock arms with a team of people who are in it with them, not by themselves. And that's why we is so important. We and us. And whatever the language is, it just has to say that we're in this together. Right? That's all. It doesn't have to be my exact words I'm using, but it should say that we're in this together. And it makes people feel good. Like, hey, guess what? I'm almost at this level. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. And I'm always giving them credit for any accomplishment. But anything that goes wrong, I take on that. Hey, listen, I apologize. I probably should have emphasized that a little bit more. I probably, right? And so you take that on as a leader. That's what we do. We take full responsibility. And I'm telling you, it feels good because, yes, I can be better. And you want them to know that I'm vulnerable there. I'm transparent there, right? I'm not perfect, but I'm here to help. And I'm growing too. Thank you for allowing me to grow. Last thing I wanted to share with you all today, and again, I'm so excited because there have been 1% things that I've learned along the way that have helped me out in this business. 1% things, right? There wasn't like I learned something and all of a sudden it changed the whole world. It was 1% at a time. And then what happens is that you know this works, right? If you haven't seen someone in a while and you say, and they look differently, you're like, you've been working out. But after one day, you didn't notice that. You don't say, you went to the gym one day, didn't you? Right? That doesn't happen. Right? Same thing with reading a book. Same thing with reading a page. Same thing with, attending this event. I just don't want you to expect you go home and everybody's like, oh, you're different. No, but in time, because you continuously grow. And this is all I want you to know as a leader. You just, a year from now, you'll be a different leader. Hopefully, we're a different leader than we were a year ago. And so I just want you to give yourself this shot at growing, a shot at exploding your business. And it doesn't happen overnight. It happens gradually. And this last thing I'm going to share with you all has everything to do with that. And it's about us being in position where we can be coached and be coachable. Be coached and be coachable. I had this dog named Thor. And Thor is a Doberman Pinscher, right? He's no longer with us. And I had him when I was about 13 years old. And Thor was purebred. I mean, he had documentation, right? So had this pedigree. And if you're not familiar with Doberman Pinschers, they're known to be extremely intelligent dogs and have extreme loyalty. They were even used as German war dogs, right? So it's extremely intelligent. We had the pick of the litter. He's a big dog, right? Big paws. We knew he was going to be big. Beautiful markings. Well, Thor, I'm not used to having a dog like that. I never had a dog that big. I didn't realize his full potential. And so I did the things I thought you were supposed to do with a dog. I walked the dog. I trained him not to use the bathroom inside. I read a book on that. I fed him. Right? Those are the basic things. I thought, okay, this is good. But he wasn't living up to his fullest potential. How do I know that? Because he used to get out of our backyard. We had a gated backyard. He was so smart, he would unlatch the gate and get out. He would scare the heck out of all the neighbors running down the street because he's a huge dog. And even though he was a friendly dog, no one knew that. They were intimidated by his size. And so the neighbors were like, please keep your dog in. I'm like, I'm sorry. But one day, watch this. This is how turning points happen in your life. And a couple of things happen and it changes everything. Watch this. So one day, my stepfather was over. And at the time, he was my mom's boyfriend. And I've used him twice in this talk. Wow. So my dog snapped at him. And he was messing around with his dish. Snapped at him. He shouldn't have done that. See, my stepdad had raised big dogs. He realized if you're not the master over that dog, he'll become the master over you as a big dog. So he says, I'll be here every day. I said, okay. He said, I'm going to train him up for you. And literally he came every day. So he was intentional. Watch where I'm going. He was intentional. It wasn't like I hope, I wish, one day when I get a chance. He had his time set every day. Thor knew when he was coming. Every day. This is how I built my business, by the way. It's not I hope, I wish. It's in my calendar. If it's that important, if it's a priority, it's in my calendar. I'm intentional about growing. I'm intentional about personal development. I'm intentional about working out. I'm intentional, right? So things that are most important to me, I'm intentional about. It's already in my calendar. People say, how do you spend so much time with your kids? Because they're in my calendar. I already know, oh, can't do the call that day, but I can do it here. Can't do the call at that time, but I can do it here, right? Because whatever is most important is already in my calendar. So he's intentional, showed up every day, right? And he had a daily routine with Thor, daily routine. Now, I'm not a trainer, so I won't even go into it, but I can tell you this, about a month and a half later, Thor was a different dog. Same dog, but if you'd seen him, you'd say that's not the same dog. In fact, I had people say, you got another dog? Because he would heal. When I walked with him, his shoulder blade stayed next to me, wouldn't budge. It's the most amazing thing. He was living up to his fullest potential. Same dog, different coach. He was always there. He was the same dog willing to learn, but no one was intentional and no one had daily routines with him. When those two things changed, everything changed. So if you're ready to be coachable, if you're ready as a student, you're like, look, I've been ready. Set yourself up with some daily routines. You're growing every single day, right? There's no, I hope, I wish. That's not a strategy. That's not a good plan. It's a plan. It's intentional. And then daily routines. You're intentional about it and daily routines. You'll be amazed at how you'll create these habits because habits lead you to success or failure, depending on what type of habits they are. So I'm excited for you. I can't wait for you to be the example that folks need you to be. The person that says, hey, look, I was this person, but I was just doing it here and there. No, I don't care if it's 5 minutes every day. I'm not saying you gotta have a lot of time. If it's 5 minutes, if it's 20 minutes, whatever it is, but you've got to shift the habits where all of a sudden it's just what you do, like brushing our teeth. And all of a sudden, you become a better leader. You become a better coach because you made the decision. You were intentional, you had daily habits, and you plugged into coaches just like today who can share with you things they did right and things they did wrong. I'm excited for you all. I can't wait to hear about your testimony. I can't wait for all of us to become better next year than we were this year. Let's take it to another level, Mastermind family. Thanks for having me, and I'll see you all over the top. God bless you.